Hi everyone, I'm Mikki Trowbridge and welcome to your practice. This is Musketeer if you've not met my very large gray cat before. And he will be some degree of helpful for practice today. So today's practice is going to be about connecting with our breath and ultimately using that breath to tap into and connect to that part of us that feels very familiar, feels very comfortable, and feels at ease. For me, and I think most of us that come to our mat on a regular basis or meditate and take a seat on a regular basis, just purely that the act, the ritual of showing up and coming into a comfortable seat or lying down on the mat and starting to breathe helps us to drop into that place that's like, oh yes, old friend. There you are. And that doesn't happen at first, right? We have to sort of plant that seed and condition that over time. But each and every time we show up on our mat and we start to breathe and we start to turn inward and find that place within us that feels familiar, it feels comfortable, that becomes easier to find. And then that becomes easier to tap into when outwardly we're not feeling comfortable or in a familiar place, or maybe we're in plank pose or chair pose and we're feeling challenged, or we're in a difficult situation at work or a hard conversation. We have this place to tap into that at least gives us that foundation of familiarity and comfort from which to interact from. So that's this practice today. I'm really excited to practice together. We're going to get started in your place of comfort. So maybe it's a comfortable seat, maybe it's lying down on the ground, maybe you lay on your belly. It could be any easy, restful shape that helps you to drop in. I'm going to recommend that you close your eyes as you settle in there. And I'm also going to recommend that you bring your hands to your body in some way where they are not outwardly distracted. Start to feel that process and act of arriving onto your mat. And start to settle into your breath, the most natural thing that we do all day long. Just start to let that breath move in and let the breath move out. And let this breath begin to help you connect. To help you connect with yourself, to begin that process of moving inward, of focusing less on all the stuff out there and more on all the stuff in here. Using the breath to help you begin that process of connecting with the familiar and the comfortable within you. Just like you're sitting down to coffee or a beverage with one of your dearest friends. That sense of comfort, of ease, of this is where I'm supposed to be. I feel at home here. If you started somewhere other than a comfortable seat, perhaps start to make that journey into your comfortable seat in the next breath or two. And once you're there, you're welcome to keep the eyes closed. We're just going to take your hands, reach them out to the sides, all the way up to the sky. And overhead, let those palms join together. Exhale, hands down into your heart. Few more times, just like that. That's all there is. Big reach as you inhale. Hands to heart as you exhale. One more time, reaching. And settling. As those hands come into your heart, let the heart lift to meet the thumbs. And then let's blink the eyes open, tip back, recross the legs, other leg in front. If you just got to your seat, then you're probably fine. You can blink your eyes open now, and let's take the hands up. One last time, bringing those palms together and down into the heart. And now we're going to change the pattern. The breath is still the same, and that familiar link between the movement. Inhale, hands go up. As you exhale, we're going to take your body, twist it toward the right, left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, back up to center, two hands reaching, and then exhale to the other side. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind. Couple times back and forth there. The inhale to bring you to center to feel that length. The exhale to rotate toward the right this time. Back to center, inhale. To the left, exhale. One more time each side. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. And exhale to the left. We're going to come back up to center, and we'll rotate toward the right one more time, but we're going to linger there for a couple breaths. Let the left hand come to the right knee, the right hand to the ground behind you, and try not to use those hands as external levers. Just put them down, and then use the strength of your core to make that rotation happen and to maintain it. Feel that thread of your breath continuing to bring you back to the familiar, to the comfortable. To that deep inner ease. With your inhale, we'll come back to center, hands to the sky, and then just twist to the other side. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind, and right back into the breath. You settle. Again, remember to use the hands as little as possible. One more full inhale here. One more full exhale. And then back to center we go. Inhale, two hands to the sky. Palms join together overhead. Hands come down into your heart. Heart lifts to meet your thumbs. And let's start to tip back onto your sit bones. Uncross your legs. Bring the toes to the ground. Knees hug in. Keep lifting the heart to the thumbs. Stay here or begin to float your feet. Maybe pet your cat with your feet. Otherwise, you're hanging in boat pose. Keep lifting the heart to the thumbs. Oh, you want more? You like that, huh? Last two breaths here. If you want to straighten the legs, straighten your legs. And we're going to recross the legs, roll over into table or swing the legs around, and we'll come into hands and knees. As you find your table pose, let's start to move through some cat-cow. Inhale, belly down, head and heart lifts. That's your inhale. And exhale, round your spine for cat. How about 3 more rounds here today? Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. 2 more rounds, helping the parts of you that haven't felt breath yet today to feel the expansion and the contraction, the ebb and flow of your breath. And then as you inhale, let's find your table pose, that long, flat spine. We'll begin to take your right leg back behind you with the toes on the ground. Press back through that right heel. And as you press back through your right heel, let's also press down into your left shin and find the slightest suggestion of cat pose right between your shoulder blades. So what I want you to try to tap into here is, instead of kind of sitting into the heaviness of gravity, there's a little bit of upward rebound and lift here. Option to stay here, this might be enough. Or option to stretch that left leg back to straight as well, coming into a couple breaths of plank pose. You could be still, or if it feels good to rock a little forward and back on the toes, you might sway forward and back here a little bit. And noticing that familiarity, that comfort, that ease that you can tap into and find through your breath, even when things start to get challenging, maybe unfamiliar for some of you in these poses we do today, maybe uncomfortable at times. And then if your left knee is off the ground, bring it back down. Then your right knee, you're back into table. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, cow pose. And then exhale, round your spine into cat. And let's take your hips all the way back to your heels for a couple breaths in child's pose. If it feels nice to spread your knees wider, you might do that. Let your forehead come on down to the mat. And we're going to pop up onto your fingertips, doming the palms here. And truly try to be up on the fingertips, so not the pads, but the fingertips. It'll be hard if you have long nails. And feel a sense of buoyancy in the middle of your palm, that same buoyancy in the armpits, and a release of the outer shoulders and outer arms toward the ground. And then flatten your palms, come back up table, bring the knees under the hips. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. And inhale, table. Left leg stretches back, toes on the ground, pressing back through that left heel. And again, as you find the length through the left leg, feel that power down into your right shin. That sense of underbody lifting into the back body. That little bit of cat pose between your shoulder blades. And obviously here your palms are flat, but can you feel that same buoyancy in the mid palm that you felt just moments ago when you had the palms domed? Option to stay here for 3 more breaths. Option to sneak your right leg back into plank pose for 3 more breaths. Again, you can be still or you can rock a little forward and back. And then from wherever you're at, we're going to make our transition back into downward facing dog. As you find your downward facing dog, let's sneak your feet out as wide as your mat. Line up the pinky edges of your feet with the sides of your mat. And then let's draw your chin into your chest. Really tuck that chin in. Feel the back of the neck release. The inner shoulder. And then start to return the head in between your arms, ears lined up with your biceps. And let's walk your feet back to hip width. Inhale, roll up onto the tippy toes, let the heels lift. And then exhale, let your heels drop down. One more time, we'll rise up. And then let your heels drop. Keep your left heel descending. If it makes sense in your body, take your right leg up and back. And let's bring your right foot forward between your hands. Set the feet hip width apart and come on up into your crescent lunge. Feel that power of your back leg, that left heel pressing back. Keep lunging into your front knee. As you exhale, we're going to tip over that front thigh. Let your hands fly down and back. And then inhale, come back up, shoulders over hips, hands to the sky. 2 more times. We'll lean, let the hands reach back. Inhale, come on up, hands to the sky. Last time. Folding and lifting. Hands come down around your front foot. And back we go, downward facing dog. From that down dog, let's roll to the tippy toes, heels lift. And exhale, heels drop toward the ground. One more time, rise up and descend. Keep that right heel descending, left foot to the sky. And foot between your hands. Does not need to be graceful, just make it work for you. Let's come on up to that crescent lunge. Feet hip width apart will feel more stable than having feet close together. Once you're lifted and rooted into your feet, let's tip forward, hands reach back. Inhale, come back up, hands to the sky. 2 more times. Hands around your front foot. And once again, let's take it back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, heels drop. Once again, heels lift and drop. And then let's lift your heels, start to bend your knees, look forward, take a stroll, walking to the top of the mat. And once you get there, let's inhale, halfway lift, fingers slide up the shins. And then exhale, bow forward, let the arms completely drape, let the head completely drape. And then let's bend your knees quite a bit and roll up inch by inch by inch. All the way to standing. Once you're upright, let's take hands to the sky. Let the palms join together overhead and exhale, hands down into your heart. Pausing for a full breath in, feeling yourself breathing all the way down into your feet. Staying for your full breath out, as though you could breathe through the top of the head. Just feel that air move back up and out. And then inhale, hands to the sky. Root down into your feet as your hands go upward. And exhale, let's fold. Bend your knees any amount. Fingers on shins, halfway lift. And exhale, let's fold. Root into your feet, rise up, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. One more time. Inhale, let's reach. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, bow forward. Rise up, reach up, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Beginning from there, that familiar pattern, and then we'll add on. Inhale, hands reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. And then as you exhale, we'll fold and step your left leg back. Once again into that hip width stance of your feet. We'll come up into your lunge. You've been here before. And just one time this round, we'll exhale, lean forward, hands reach back. And then inhale, come right back up. Now we'll add on. As you exhale, hands together, left elbow taps right thigh. Inhale, back up, hands to the sky. Let's do that 2 more times. Hands to heart, left elbow taps. Inhale, come up, reach up. Exhale into the twist. Back up to center. Hands around your front foot, exhale. We'll step back to downward facing dog. You are invited to stay here or inhale, come forward to plank. Let's drop our knees to the ground for this first one. Elbows point straight back as you exhale, lowering to the belly. At the bottom there, untuck your toes. Baby cobra, maybe you feel ready to press into those hands and lift up a little higher. Back to the belly with your exhale. Inhaling through plank or table. And downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky if it makes sense. And foot between your hands with your exhale. Again, we come up into your lunge. With your exhale, we'll tip forward, hands reach back. Inhale, come up, shoulders over hips. Into the twist, hands to heart, right elbow taps left thigh. Inhale, reach up, come up. And 2 more times in that twisting pattern. Right elbow, left thigh, exhale. Inhale, reach up. 1 more time. As you exhale, hands come around your front foot. Right foot steps forward to meet the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, and let's come on up into chair pose. Sitting back just to the right amount for you today. Hands could be up or at heart, whatever feels nice for your shoulders. And let's settle right back into that breath. That breath as the channel or the vessel into which you can connect to what's familiar, what's comfortable, that place within that feels like you belong. Even if you don't feel like you belong in chair pose. 1 more breath. And then we root into your feet. Inhale, straighten those legs, rise up, reach up, palms join together, and exhale, hands down into your heart. Full breath in, all the way down into your feet. Full breath out, all the way up through the crown of the head. Inhale, hands go up. Exhale, fold. Again, taking what's familiar and adding on. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. Right leg steps back first this time. We'll rise into that same lunge with your inhale. Just like before, we'll tip forward, hands fly back as you exhale. Inhale, shoulders over hips, hands to the sky. Into your twist as you exhale. Right elbow taps left thigh. Inhale, back up. And then we'll add on, back heel to the ground, open up, warrior 2. Keep that front knee bent. We'll inhale, reverse. And then exhale, left elbow, left thigh, right hand up or forward. Back and forth there, we'll go with the breath. Inhale, right hand down the back leg, reversing. Exhale, left elbow, left thigh, extended side angle. 1 more time, into the reverse. Exhale, into the side angle. And then we'll come back into that reverse shape. 1 full breath. Just linger. Feel the space. Hands around your front foot. Back heel lifts. And back we go. Downward facing dog. Invitation to stay or inhale, plank. Knees up or down, chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra. Or maybe high cobra, your choice. Back to the belly, exhale. Inhaling through table or plank. And downward facing dog. Right leg lifts when you're ready. And foot between your hands. Crescent lunge, come on up. Exhale, tip forward, hands fly back. Inhale, come up. Into the twist, left elbow, right thigh as you exhale. Come on up. Open warrior 2. Inhale, left hand down the back leg, reverse. Exhale, side angle, right elbow, right thigh. Back and forth there 2 more times. With your breath reversing. Exhaling, side angle. 1 more time, reverse. And lengthen forward. Into that reverse shape 1 more time. We'll linger for a breath. Hands around your front foot. Back heel lifts. And we'll step left foot next to right foot front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, let's fold. We're going to bend your knees coming up to chair. And we're going to bring your hands this time into the tops of the thighs. So as high as you can get to the pelvis, but still on the thigh bone. And then we're going to press down rather strongly into those thigh bones. Couple deep breaths here. Let the front of the thigh and the hip release under the pressure of your hands. And try to use this force and this pressure to create a sense of decompression in the low back. And then slide your hands forward and let yourself fold over the legs. Hands can dangle to the ground, or you can grab opposite arm in some way if you'd like. Allow those shoulders to completely release with gravity here. Then bend your knees a little bit more, and let's roll up inch by inch. At the top there, taking hands skyward. Pausing there for a full breath. Exhaling all the way up through the top of the head. Inhaling all the way down into your feet. Palms joined together, and exhale, hands down into your heart. Closing the eyes or dropping the gaze. Couple breaths here to resettle inward and to reconnect with that simple act, that simple process of breathing. That thread of the familiar or the comfortable, whatever word just kind of nails it for you. That place of belonging or ease within yourself. And then we'll blink the eyes open. Let those eyes find steadiness. And we'll shift into your right foot. Start to bend your left knee up toward the chest. We're going to come into tree pose. So when you're ready, turn that knee toward the left. Place the foot on calf or thigh. You could also do that little ankle kickstand if that feels nice. And we'll settle here for a few breaths. Try not to let the act of balancing on one foot pull you out of your breath or pull you out of that inward connection with yourself. This is just yet another opportunity in the face of challenge and maybe discomfort to tap back into that place of familiarity. You can keep hands at heart. You can grow some branches if you'd like. Up to you. And keep feeling that breath all the way down into your right foot as you inhale, all the way up through the crown of the head as you exhale. And then we'll start to turn that left knee forward, bringing the foot off the thigh. Hands are going to come down by your sides and maybe an inch or two back behind you, like a little superhero cape. Dun, 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 dun. And then let's start to take your left leg back, heart forward, and we're going to fly into your warrior 3. Now, if you have a different hand position you like for warrior 3, feel free to take your hands to that place. You've got 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to bend your right knee, step all the way back into your lunge. Let that back heel come on down to the ground, toes angle out. We're going to keep pulling the hands back further behind you into a clasp. So thumbs or all of the fingers, your choice. Shoulders back, the back of the heart moving into the front of the heart, the chest, and then lunge into that front knee. So warrior 1 in your legs. You've got this clasp in the upper back. and arms. Option to stay here if you feel like being upright today, or really root into that back foot, and let's start to fold and bow towards your front leg into humble warrior. If you're taking humble warrior, try to let the head completely release. The back of the neck is long. Maybe even a little of that effort, just a suggestion of pulling the chin toward the chest. If you're folded, root into that back foot. Let's come on up. And then we'll all release the clasp. Take the hands to the sky. Press your palms together overhead. Bend your elbows. Drop the hands behind the neck and the head. Wrap those arms in nice and close to your ears. Lengthen up through the elbow tips. And then let your hands come down around your front foot. Back heel lifts and back we go. Downward facing dog. Now, if you're feeling like you need a few breaths, maybe child's pose or some cat-cow is really well placed right here. We're going to come into an option for some plank work. So if you're game, come forward to plank. Now remember, your knees can be on the ground or lifted. Full breath here, inhaling all the way back through your heels. Exhaling all the way through the crown of the head. We're going to replace your right hand with your right elbow. And then left hand gets replaced with your left elbow. Coming down into forearm plank. Same options here. You can be on knees or forearms. Press those elbows into the ground. Feel a sense of your underbody lifting away from the ground and into the back. Hands can be flat down, palms down, or you could clasp the hands here if you like. We're going to move from here into dolphin. So start to walk your feet in, take your hips to the sky. If this pose is not super comfortable for you, then I recommend taking your feet really wide and putting a little bend in your knees. Try to get to a place here where the head can hang heavily between your arms. You've got just 2 more breaths here. Press those elbows down into the floor. Feel a sense of lifting away from the ground in that shoulder area, even as the head falls toward the floor. And then we're going to lower the knees to the ground. If you need to walk your feet back a little bit, do that. Knees wide, big toes together, child's pose. Getting soft, settling in here. When you're ready, let's come on up into table pose. From table, downward facing dog. And from your downward facing dog, let's inhale, bend the knees, lift the heels, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop. Top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Close the eyes or drop the gaze, settling back in. Beginning to prepare for tree pose on that second side. So when you're ready, open the eyes. Feel that shift into the left foot. Right knee comes toward the chest. And when you found your stability there, the right knee turns toward the right. Let's place that foot on thigh, calf, or ankle for your tree pose and settle in. Hands at heart or grow branches if it makes sense. But continue to feel your breath, inhaling all the way down into that left foot. Exhaling all the way back up through the crown of the head. Let's turn that right knee forward when you're ready. Release the foot off the thigh. Start to take your hands down by your sides and maybe an inch or two back behind you. And then back we go into that warrior 3 or airplane pose shape. Stay with your breath, that deep inward connection. And when you're ready, we'll bend that left knee, step it all the way back into your lunge, coming into that warrior 1 shape with the clasp of thumbs or all of your fingers behind your back. Using the strength and the activation of your upper back to create space in the chest and the front of the heart. Stay here, or if it feels nice in your body today, begin to bow forward toward that front leg, coming into humble warrior. Feeling the complete release of your head and neck here if you're in humble warrior. One more full breath. And then we'll come on up, shoulders over hips. We'll all release hands to the sky. Press those palms together, bend the elbows, drop the hands behind the back, lengthen up through the elbow tips. And then exhale, hands down around your front foot. Back we go, downward facing dog. You know what's coming, so we're going to take that same plank forearm, plank dolphin progression again. If that is not your jam today, you've got options. Cat-cow, child's, down dog, or your own version of plank work. If you're with me, come forward to plank. Remember, those knees can come down at any point. That doesn't make you weak. That makes you feel supported. And that is a beautiful thing. When you're ready, left elbow comes to the ground. Then your right elbow. Couple breaths, forearm plank. Knees down or up, hands flat or clasped, up to you. You're ready to make that transition to dolphin. Hips high, feet walk in, let your head hang heavily. Take those feet as wide as you need to give yourself space here to really let that head hang. One more breath here, really pressing into the elbow tips. And then make your way back into child's pose. This time, let's wrap your arms around your legs and let those shoulders just fall. Mine like to rest on the knees. Allow the head to be supported on the ground. And breathe really fully and deeply into the whole back side of your body here. Allow the sides of your belly to be held and supported by the inner thighs. And then let's walk your hands back forward, come back up into table. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. When you're ready, we'll take right leg to the sky. And then right foot forward between your hands. We'll set the feet hip width apart. Bend that front knee. Try to get your front thigh parallel to the ground. And you definitely have the option here, if you would like this, to put the back knee down on the ground. Left hand is staying, right hand is lifting and reaching up toward the sky. We're going to be here for just a couple more breaths. Those of you that are wanting more challenge today to connect with yourself, maybe that left hand floats an inch or two off the ground. And then let that left hand come down if it's lifted, and then your right hand. Come up, crescent lunge, hands to the sky. Hopefully your stability and balance is a little bit better than mine today. And then we'll bring your back heel to the ground and open up, warrior two. As you settle, reach that right hand way forward, and then let that right elbow come to the right thigh or right hand to the ground inside the foot. Left hand straight up toward your ceiling. We're going to turn that left palm to face behind you, bend the elbow, sneak that hand into the small of the back for a half bind, and use that to create space in the front of your left shoulder. 2 more full breaths here. And then let's release that left hand back up toward the ceiling. Slowly come up, warrior two, into your reverse. And exhale, hands down around your front foot. Let's step back into downward facing dog. Invitation to stay or to take your vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Knees up or down, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choosing. Back to the belly. Inhale, table or plank. And downward facing dog. Home stretch here. Last round of standing postures. Inhale, left leg lifts. And foot between the hands. Lunge into that front knee. Feel the left thigh descend toward the ground. Right hand stays, left hand reaches up. Remember that back knee can come to the ground if you'd like. Those of you who want a little bit more, right fingertips float. Right hand down, left hand down. Come up, crescent. Open up, warrior two. Take your left hand, reach it way forward, and then left elbow on left thigh or left hand inside the foot, and we'll take your right hand up toward the ceiling. Turn that right palm to face behind you, bend the elbow, bring that hand into the small of the back, wherever it lands for you. And just use that half bind to create space in the whole right side of the chest, the shoulder, the neck. Gaze is anywhere where the neck is comfortable. Let's stay for 2 more breaths here. And then release that right hand back up toward the sky. Let's come up, warrior two, into that reverse shape. And exhale, hands down around your foot. Downward facing dog. Option to stay. Option for one final vinyasa, if you would like to take it. And then from wherever you're at, let's make your way down onto the belly. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So elbows below your shoulders. Forearms parallel to one another. Palms down or turning inward. Whatever feels nice here. Let's press down into those elbow tips. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. Let your shoulders melt back and down. And then let's take your head, drop it forward, let that chin come down into your chest. As the chin comes down into the chest, keep moving the shoulders back. And then slowly let's lift the head back up. Feel that length through all four sides of the neck. And then elbows out, hands in. Either forehead on the back of your hands or turn a cheek to the ground. Full breath into your low belly, your low back here. Option to stay put. Option to repeat a second round of your Sphinx pose. Or with forehead on the ground, let's start to reach your hands back toward the feet. Use the strength of your upper back to move your shoulders away from the ground. Then start to lift your head off the floor. Hands can lift, reaching back. And then up to you, feet can stay rooted, or you can start to fly your feet. Locust pose. If you would like to take the hands into that clasp we did in your warrior one, that is a great option here. And then final option, bend the knees, reach back, grab feet or ankles for your bow pose. Wherever you're at, you've got 3 to 5 more breaths. Staying with that cadence, that rhythm, that inward journey of your breath. And then slowly we come back down. Again, elbows out, hands in, forehead on the back of the hands or cheek to the ground. And let's give a little shimmy shimmy to the hips. Maybe a bend of the knees and a sway of your feet side to side. And then let's press the ground away. Come on up to seated. And from seated on down to the back. As you come onto the back, let's bring soles of the feet together, knees open, and we're going to reach down and hold onto your feet, ankles, or shins. You could do this pose seated if you'd prefer. My back really loves it like this on my back. So the hands are supporting the legs in the shape. Knees are opening away from your shoulders. And your low back is doing its best to be really heavy and held by the ground. One more full breath here. And then let's bring the legs back together. Hands on shins or thighs. Give those legs a firm hug in. And then let's move both hands onto your right leg. Let your left leg release. Left leg either bent or straight on the ground. And then you have the option with the right leg as well to keep it bent or to place your hands on the hamstring of that right leg and take your right foot to the sky. So you have a few different combinations you can create there. Either leg can be bent, either leg can be straight. See which one feels comfortable. Feels like a good shape to breathe in and out of for a few moments in time here. And let's bend both knees, bring them back into your chest. When you're ready, we'll shift the hands to that left leg, release the right leg to the ground, bent or straight. And then settle in here, either with that left leg bent or maybe that left leg also coming up to straight. And then let's bend both knees one more time, bring them into your chest. We're going to lower your feet to the ground about as wide as your mat with the knees bent. Go ahead and take your arms out into a T shape. And let's have those feet wide enough that you can start to let the knees fall side to side without needing to shift the feet at all. And we'll start that windshield wiper movement and action of knees right, knees left. Start to invite that moving, that swaying to get a little smaller, a little slower. And when it feels right to you, we will creep those legs out to straight. Slide the arms down by your sides. And let's settle into our shape of relaxation. If it's comfortable, allow the eyes to close. Allow your body to get really familiar with the ground here. Allow it to be supported and held. And can you take rest here in that place within you that feels familiar, comfortable, easy, like you belong? Even if that piece of you feels so small and hard to find right now. Can you tap into it? Can you breathe into it? And can you take rest there? If you're feeling like you need more time here today, I encourage you and invite you to stay. If you're feeling ready to make that transition back into your day, go ahead and bend the knees, bring the feet to the ground. Let's take your arms up overhead, reaching, lengthening through the fingertips. When you're ready, we'll roll to a side, ease our way up into a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Taking this breath with you as a tool, a method, a opportunity every time you inhale and exhale to tap into that space of familiarity, of comfort, of belonging within. The light within me honors the light within each of you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Shanti, way to show up just for the end. Hope that you all have a really wonderful day. I'll see you guys again soon.